Oh, you're trying to do the laugh?
Trying, I am the laugh. I am the danger. Akasan's Honest Reactions, Akasan. That's me. And to my right, your left, probably, is my little sister. Should we give you a code name? Or do you have a nickname?
No.
No? Alright. Kira. My little sister, everybody. She's on the show. And if you guys have been with this channel long enough, you actually might recognize this pink room, because that was the one where, that was the first video I did that went viral, and it was a reaction to Dick Slang. There you go, Dick Slang. Yeah. I shouldn't be talking like that around you, but oh well, you're on my show. We know what's going on. Do you watch my channel?
Yes, I do.
Yeah? What's your favorite video?
The one where you did the latest one, the Suicide Squad reaction.
Ah,
trailers.
My review?
Yeah, your
trailers.
trailers.
The reactions. Okay, when I was at work, right, with the tie and...
I might as well get some work done.
Yep, you are correct. All right, well, let's go ahead and speaking of Suicide Squad, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll do a little warm-up reaction here. The Joker top 5 interesting facts, and this is actually coming from Comic Book Cass, the second channel. My brother Armino of the Marvel Revolution, I guess. You have no idea what I'm talking about, right?
No.
All right, let's see what Armin has to say about the Joker.
And welcome everybody to an episode of Fact Check, the show where I look at the most interesting facts regarding some of today's most popular and iconic.
You probably have no idea what that is, huh?
And today we are going to be looking at the clown prince of crime himself, the Joker.
That's the Joker.
No.
Yeah, you could. Shut up.
Interesting fact I have here for you guys is that the Joker actually made his first appearance in Batman #1 in 1940. Now, what is interesting about this is that he was supposed to be a one-and-done character. Originally, Bob Kane did not see any far-reaching potential with the character and wanted him to be killed at the end of the first issue.
Batman.
And this was actually going to be the case until the book's editor named Whitney Ellsworth actually saw the potential in it, and she was adamant that this should not happen. As a result, Bob Kane was actually forced to kind of hesitantly throw together a panel which would show the Joker coming back to life. Now what makes this even more interesting is the fact that Bob Kane actually wanted to get rid of the Joker, considering he actually fought tooth and nail with Bill Finger to actually include the Joker in the first issue of Batman, but Bill Finger would keep saying that the character was too clownish to be included. Now, could you guys imagine a world today where one of the greatest, if not the greatest, comic book villain of all time was killed and never got the chance to shine and do all the crazy things he did?
Interesting. Alright, number 4.
Now, if you are a fan of The Dark
Joker.
Knight, chances are you have seen the critically acclaimed Chris Nolan directed Batman Dark Knight live-action movie. And in the film, the Joker, portrayed by Heath Ledger, constantly brings up the fact of, do you know how I got these scars? Now, this is not something that is specifically made for the movie. This is in fact a representation and honoring the chaotic and crazy history of the Joker. For those of you that may or may not know, the Joker does not actually have a set concrete origin.
Yes.
And the closest they have actually come to anything dealing with an origin would be in the Killing Joke storyline. Which then, this was later debunked and changed due to subsequent world-changing events within DC Comics. And in one of the most recent incarnations of the Joker seen in the New 52, it was actually suggested that the Joker is the manifestation of an evil entity of chaos.
What? I didn't even know that one. Okay.
Now, when it comes to the Joker's real name, this is one of the most mysterious things about the character, as no one actually knows what it is. Various different incarnations of the Joker, from movies to various other forms of comics and media, have all touched upon what it could be and hinted at something. But the biggest clue could be in Batman: The Legend of the Dark Knight, where Joker's cousin Melvin actually almost calls him by his real name. We see the letters J.A. appear before he tells them to never call them by that name again and threatens them. Now, throughout the comic book history and existence of the Joker, we have multiple times seen him actually use the name Jack for his code name, leading many to also associate and speculate that the Joker's real name is Jack Napier, much like the character played by Jack Nicholson in Batman in 1989. Now, as we talk about DC Comics, it is almost impossible to ignore the multiverse that exists within it.
Do you know what the
and one of the
multiverse
most
is?
famous
Many
would
different
be the
worlds.
Flashpoint universe. Now, in this, we
This
actually
is
see
another
the Flash travel through time and change the course of the DC timeline, which creates some weird anomalies. So on the fateful night where Bruce Wayne is walking in an alley with both of his parents and both of them get shot, that is not the case. We actually see that Bruce Wayne is the one that gets murdered. This drives his father absolutely insane,
She
and
becomes
he ends
Joker.
up becoming the Batman of the Flashpoint universe. Now, as Thomas Wayne lost his mind and became a crime-fighting vigilante, Martha actually takes a completely different route. She goes completely insane, taking a knife, slicing her face open to become the Joker. She later goes on to kill Jim Gordon and commits suicide upon learning that her son Bruce Wayne is okay in another world and lives a good and happy life.
Jesus. Yep.
Now, if you ask me, Joker is one of the greatest and most evil, sadistic, and just ruthless characters you could ever imagine. And at the same time, on the opposite end of that, they will also tell you that one of the greatest and most heroic characters of all time is Star Wars' Luke Skywalker.
True.
But of course, what most people don't know is that they are one in the same, because Mark Hamill has voiced the Joker for over 20 years now. Of course, making his debut in Batman the Animated Series, which would go on to take off after his stint in Star Wars. He would, of course, go on to reprise this role in multiple different versions.
Mark
from
Hamill,
live-action Birds of Prey pilot, actual video games that are based on the Batman world, to various different cartoons and animated films from DC Comics. Now, Mark Hamill has countless times said that he would be retiring as the Joker, but multiple times he has come back. Most recently, he has shown up as the Trickster in The Flash on the CW. This was a more psychotic and chaotic version, almost based on his Joker role, since he's never gotten to play the live-action version. And recently, in the animated adaptation of The Killing Joke, he has stated that this is going to be his final time voicing the iconic character. So there it is, guys. 5 interesting facts on the Joker. Now, obviously, the Joker is a character that I could cover with about 50 to 60 interesting facts. So over the next couple of years, don't be surprised if you see different volumes of Fact Check with the Joker showing back up multiple times, because there is so much interesting info I can get into.
Thank you, Armin. Okay, there we go. So, what did you learn about the Joker today? Pop quiz, hot shot.
Nothing.
Boy. Yeah.
Boy. I learned that the guy that played Luke Skywalker is the voice of Joker.
Voice of the Joker, the best Joker, mind you.
No, the second best.
Really?
I like the.
You like Ledger's Joker the best, then?
Like
Dark Knight. In the Dark Knight. Why?
Cause like how he played the character, like he really got into the role.
Yeah. What do you think about this new Joker, Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad?
I think when I heard the Joker was gonna be in it, you know.
Yeah, that was dope. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I actually am really warming up to, like, after the second time watching that Suicide Squad, we watched it last night in regular 3D. The crowd was kind of dead, but it is Lancaster, so like people were like, "What?" I think the biggest applause was the biggest relation people got was with El Diablo.
Yeah,
this is like a bunch of LA gangsters. Yeah, like, hey, homie, you tripping, fool? I was like, that was actually really funny because that's such an LA thing, though. Yeah. Who's the king, man? But I actually liked Leto's Joker a lot. Like, I thought, like, I would be so willing for just his own movie, or like, just like the end of Suicide Squad. I thought to myself, like, I just want a Harley Quinn and Joker movie at this point.
Harley Quinn, best ever. I love her.
Harley Quinn, just a Harley
Yes.
Quinn, a mad love story.
Yeah, I think what they should do is have Joker and Harley Quinn their own movie.
That'd
and
be
stuff.
great.
And carry,
Batman, yeah.
carry out their own love story and see what happens, because since they're taking out in a different route this time,
Yeah.
all the original ones.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind like a Harley Quinn, Joker, mad love story that includes the death of Robin or something like a flashback sort of storytelling deal.
From when they met and from how they came to be.
Yeah.
Because in
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, how they explained it was
Horrible.
different from what I wanted. But I really did like the laugh they gave him.
Oh, Joker?
Yes. I really like that laugh.
And one of the things that they, you've never read this book, but there's a really good book called Joker. It's a hardback cover by the team that writes 100 Bullets. And one of the biggest things that is touched upon in that story is the fact that the Joker actually has like a drug addiction. Like he's popping pills left and right to keep his sanity, kind of somewhat sanity together, basically. And I noticed in Suicide Squad they just touched upon it just a little bit when he's in the circle, kind of just like this, and his henchman comes in, and he's like, "Where is she?" Like that, and he's like drawing smiles on his face and all that, and so he's really zonked out on something, and as a reader, I understood that it was like Harley is his kind of like grounding a little bit, but unfortunately the way they edited it, you couldn't really see the real relationship that Harley and Joker really have. It's more of like an abusive relationship, where this one, it just looked like Joker was crazy in love with her.
Well, that's not the case. Well, like they said in the video, they never knew what Joker's original backstory is. I think that's what they should do. Like, they should have his own movie explain who the Joker is, because no one knows who the Joker is, and they can take that into any route they want.
True, but that's also sort of the intrigue and mystery is the fact that Joker's origin is a blur. Or, as he's once said, he's like, if I have an origin, I prefer to have multiple choice like that.
Or they should do one for Harley Quinn too, because
and that's where Mad Love, the story that Paul Dini wrote, who wrote the animated series as well, a good amount of it, he created Harley Quinn, and he wrote a story called Mad Love, and that showed the origin of how she was a really smart psychologist and such that wanted to get famous interviewing the Joker and trying to cure the Joker. And they touched upon it in Suicide Squad, but it was such a blur that it was like
it was just flashback from present to
it was kind of weird. That part was kind of weird, and they cut a lot out for Suicide Squad, but I hope, we were talking about, in a future movie they're going to expand more upon that.
Definitely.
We'll see. All right, we're moving on to the next video. Red Nation, stand up, speak up. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think she talks just as much as me? Probably.
Not.
Just wait. Just wait till she gets her own channel. We're out. Peace.
After an arduous journey, my movie finally made it to Japan. And without naming names, I'm completely out of budget for my sequel. But I need to find some buddy movie talent. So I'm reaching out to Akasan, the red-dreaded beast himself, to see if we can find me some movie stars. Let's do this, Japan.